Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Pros and Politics Podcast, where we are polished and poised for greatness and impact. My name is Kahala, and I'm your host. We are so happy that you joined us today as we journey back into one of my favorite topics, sports, and specifically high school athletics. And today with us, we have the head coach for the East St. Louis Flyers boys basketball team, Mr. Mark Chambers.
Right,
Hello, Coach Chambers.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
We are so pleased to have you. We've been talking about this for months, getting you on here. We had Coach Duncan, and we were like, oh, we got to get Coach Chambers on here because we want to hear all about him and his program and everything that he's doing with Flyers basketball.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
So let's talk about a few things first.
Sure.
Are you a member of a Greek letter
Yes, Kappa Alpha
organization?
Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay.
Gamma Chapter, Spring 88.
Oh, Gamma chapter. Yeah. Okay, we coming from the single letter chapters now. That is awesome.
Right.
That is awesome. Well, you know, we are partial to the men of Kappa Alpha Psi here at Pros and Politics Podcast because of my husband, and that is amazing. All right, well, yo to the noobs, okay?
Yo.
Okay. I love it. So tell us all about yourself. Obviously, basketball has been part of your life basically your whole life.
Yeah.
So tell us all about Coach Chambers.
So basketball, obviously, it's been, like you said, it's been a part of my life since I was probably 7 years old. And, you know, I love baseball and basketball, actually. And I went to college to play baseball, but I played on the 1987 Lincoln team for Coach Benny Lewis, basketball.
Lincoln Tiger in the house. That's right.
Absolutely. The great Benny Lewis. He taught me a lot. And my journey kind of started with him and his teachings, which is, you know, in turn, helped me help these young men that I'm coaching today. So I'm very proud that I had the opportunity to play for him. But I went to college to play baseball, which was really my first love. But, you know, I ended up playing for the Atlanta Braves for a few years in the minor leagues. And then I came back home and decided that I wanted to coach. And that led me to a few years coaching at Cahokia High School, coaching basketball, being an assistant.
We got love for the Comanches here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and then that just led me to East St. Louis. So, yeah.
Now, how long have you been the basketball coach at Eastside?
This is my 5th season, 3rd full season. COVID kind of broke things up, and then I came in. It came January of 18. Yeah. So.
Okay, so we played baseball, basketball, and you know, not many people know, especially this generation of people, the legacy of Coach Benny Lewis.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
He is an icon.
Yes,
you know, he will always be remembered. I don't care if, you know, Lincoln actually is no longer standing. It will always be standing in our hearts and our memories.
Absolutely.
And I just miss the days of the Eastside Lincoln game.
Yes.
I mean, I was on the pom-pom squad, and like that was your biggest performance of the year, and everybody had their outfits and all of that. But it was the crosstown rivals of a boys, you know, an African-American community coming together with that rivalry. And it just obviously broke all of our hearts when Lincoln closed. But from Benny Lewis to, you know, the like you said, the basketball team, the Jackie Joyner Kersey, all the things that came out of Lincoln.
Absolutely.
But that Eastside Lincoln game,
that game was amazing. The energy level in that game was through the roof. Yeah, and Coach Benny Lewis, or Boss as we call him,
he
set the tone for that. You know, he set the tone for basketball in the city, and he was actually at our last home game, and it was amazing. The guys got a chance to meet him and talk to him a little bit. So, yeah, without Boss, I don't know where basketball would be in the city of East St. Louis. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So, is this where you always like envisioned yourself like coaching, you know, after, you know, retiring from, you know, professional athletics? Was that a vision that you were like years ago, you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and then eventually I would love to coach?
Absolutely. because even when I was playing, I would always come back and coach some of the young kids or train with them during the winter. So, and I saw a need for kids that look like me, that were me, and at one point. And so I just thought that I want to coach because I want them to experience some of the things that sports have allowed me to experience, traveling and meeting different people, you know, just a lot of different things, a lot of different experiences. And I'm grateful for those. And I want these kids to experience that.
And you are basically coaching in and out of the office, right? Because you have a tennis superstar. Right?
Morgan. Yes. And she's going to be happy that we mentioned her name because every interview she asks me, did you mention my name?
That's right. Well, tell Morgan, I got you. Okay. You family. And again, that's how we know each other, right?
Absolutely.
So there's always a segment in the episode where we talk about how we know each other. And, you know, Coach Chambers and I, we're family.
Absolutely.
So we have the Mitchums and the Maxwells,
That's
and
right.
they came together,
That's
and
right.
it's all of these cousins and first cousins, and we were all basically raised together because our families are so close.
Absolutely.
And to this day, we still are. So that's why it was a much easier connection to get you.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh, that's family. He gonna be like, oh, Kyla, sure, I'll come on and, you know, discuss.
That's right.
So tell us, you know, you've kind of given us a glimpse of it with boss and everything, but why East Side?
Because, so at the time when they called me, I was at Cahokia. I've been there for 12 years. And they called and they'd had 5 coaches.
I remember
in
that
7 years.
Season of events.
So I was probably the 5th coach in 7 years. So they needed some stability. And they saw the way that our program was going over at Cahokia, and they knew my role in it. And so they called and asked if I could help straighten out the program. And the first year was very, very difficult. Just changing the culture, changing the mindset. But you know, I came in January, it was mid-season. So they had 3 coaches so far that year. And so it was difficult, a new voice. I had a couple kids ask me, well, you're the 3rd coach, so will you be here by the time I graduate or when I graduate? And so I was like, yeah, I hope so. And so we came in and we changed the program. We turned it around. And then obviously the first full season, we won a state championship, which with first in school history. So we're very grateful for that. And we feel like we have the program going in the right direction. And the kids are buying in. We have 19 kids now to receive scholarships since I've been there. Wow. So it's a work in progress, but we're growing, and I'm very excited about it.
That is a tremendous, like, just the journey of it, because I do remember it's amazing how you sleep a couple nights, right? And you kind of forget a little bit. But when people bring it back up, you know, I do remember a season where there was a lot of transition with the coaching. Absolutely. And it was hard on the community, obviously, and obviously hard on the kids in the school. Yes. And the fact that you were able to bring stability to that program it just says so much about you and your philosophy. And that kind of ties us into what is your coaching philosophy? Like, that's one of the main things we love to bring coaches on, especially in communities of color. And communities that people swear the media tries to paint pictures that are not accurate of us. We are the city of champions. I don't care where I go, who I'm in front of. 45 years I've been telling folks, I am from East St. Louis, Illinois, and I am proud. And don't you say nothing crazy, because it might come out. Like, I'm just, but always trying in the most Christ-like a professional manner to bring people back to what the truth is, and that we are champions and we are an excellent community. So we love to bring coaches on. What is your philosophy? So that way people know, like, it's not what you think. What did you say? 19 scholarships. So that means you believe in higher education.
Absolutely.
You don't believe in just dribbling a basketball. So what is your philosophy for your players?
So we are student athletes first, and we make that known. We have a strict program that we follow, that our kids follow. If you don't get the books, then you're not going to be able to play. So that's first and foremost. We strive on being good people, just good citizens, not only in the school, on the court, but also in the community. These guys completely buy into just being good teammates, just wanting to be successful, not only at East St. Louis, but beyond East St. Louis. So we have a broad scope here that we cover, but we really get them to see that you can be successful. And so what we also do, part of our culture, is we have our guys that go to college, they come back, and that's the powerful part, right? So when you leave, that's one of the things. Every group, they come back and they tell their stories, and so now the other guys are like, so now it comes a thing of, okay, it's not if I'm going to college, I know I'm going to college, but which one? And so that's kind of the culture that we've set there. So our philosophy is just it's broad, and we really want to make sure that these young men become good people, good citizens, and also so they can be successful in life.
That is amazing because, again, there's a perception, and we are doing everything that we can through this platform to change that, and bringing people like yourself on to let people know. Because it's one thing for me to say it, right? I can say it till whatever, but I'm not coaching the basketball team. I'm not coaching the football team. I'm not, doing whatever, literally touching the lives. Yes, I've been back to speak and, for the ribbon pinning and all this other stuff, but you all days a week, sometimes 7, sometimes 6 or 5. Day. What do you say? This week alone, you all have like 3 or 4 games.
4 games.
But you are a ever-present presence in the lives of these children.
Right. Absolutely.
And they have such an amazing example. So just sitting here hearing your success story, and people look at that. So they're like, okay, well, Coach did it. I can do it. Right. Coach is married and Coach is, doing what he's doing. I can do that. I can be a positive role model and example, for the people coming behind me. So I'm going to come back, Coach. I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk to the young men. And I'm going to just let them know that this is what this program built out of me. And we never do it alone. So obviously you have a team.
Yes.
So tell us about your staff.
Yeah, my staff. It's amazing staff. Starting with my brother, Jermaine. He helps me out a lot.
I know Jermaine very well.
Absolutely.
Very well, yes.
Rico Sylvester, who played at Lincoln on the 89 team. He was a starting guard. Darius Austin, who played for me at Cahokia, he recently graduated from Jackson State playing basketball. And Kelvin Mosby, he went to East St. Louis. I think he graduated in '98. He played overseas. A good mix of coaches, and they're able to really relate to the kids, and they do a really great job for me.
Excellent. So now we can shift a little bit. What you said, you've already mentioned that you have won a state championship, and I was not aware that was the first basketball championship for Eastside.
Yes,
under your tutelage, and then that was a historic year for East St. Louis. Period, because you won state. Coach Sunkett won state. I think Coach Fenoy won state.
And
so it was like
Coach Malloy as well.
Yes,
so we had 4.
Yes. And I remember. I know we're AKAs and Kappas here, but world famous. Honored you guys that year.
Yes,
and it was just huge for the city. Like, not a trifecta, like a quadfecta.
Right, exactly.
That year. So you've experienced victory and, championships at high levels, right?
Yes.
And it's kind of followed you your whole life.
Yes.
So there's got to be not a formula that fits everybody, but kind of a Coach Chambers formula.
Yeah.
So people who are looking to be like your students or our viewers, what would you advise, or what advice would you give that's worked for you?
Right. Obviously, I keep God first. I set goals. I set goals, and I just check them off as I go. There's adversity that comes, and there's been a lot of adversity taking over this position, but but I tell you what, you just have to stick with it. You have to be gritty. You have to be mentally tough, and you just can't quit. You know, there are going to be obstacles that get in your way, and like I said, there have been a lot, but you find a way. When you really want something, you find a way to get it done. And that's what I tell my guys all the time. Like, we just have to find a way. And it's not going to be perfect. No mountain climbed is just a straight climb. You're going to have some adversity.
There are no stairs.
Exactly, no stairs.
There are no stairs up the mountain, don't we know?
Exactly. So, and that's just kind of it for me. I try to set my goals, and I just go for them. And I believe that I can be successful. Right. And that's a big part of it. And I tell my guys, I had this conversation on the bus last night, growth mindset. We have to have a growth mindset. Right. Last night we were in a tough battle, and we overcame it, but our mindset got us through it. Positive. We stayed positive, and we got through the moment. So that's just kind of what I believe in.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you absolutely believe in athletics,
Absolutely.
right? And you believe in the way that it builds. Now, someone like myself, it never worked for me. Okay, I was not. Track was awful. Volleyball was awful. I was an academic, and that's fine, you know. But I do believe, having had a father that was a Division I basketball ref, and being raised in sports, which is why I love it so much, I do believe that it definitely builds you, and it builds character. Yes. So would you, obviously it's a softball of an obvious question, but how do you see athletics like growing young people?
I think it helps tremendously. I look at my kids and just see how they've grown, and you get the team aspect. You learn how to, because just think about it. In everything in life, you're part of some team, just about, right? So you learn how to be a leader, you learn how to be a follower, you learn how to communicate. So it's so many different variables that come with being on teams. And I just use basketball as a means to teach those life lessons. And it works. And I believe that sports I don't know where I would be without sports. I don't know where
it has served you well, right? Sir. It has served you well.
So I don't know. And all of my friends, I look at LaFonso, who's on ESPN now, and you know, you look at some of James Harris, who played with the Raiders. So we just look at, you know, what it's done for us, and now what it's doing for these young men that are leaving East St. Louis. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That is amazing. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming today. Yeah. This was a wonderful discussion. Like I said, so many people need to understand just what we offer here.
Yes.
You know, as a community and as a people. And it's not just about East St. Louis or the St. Louis metro area. What you said applies universally.
Yes.
And that's what we want people to understand here at Personal Politics Podcast. Obviously, we have the community, and I have the village that I have, but we bring people like Coach Chambers on to be able to let everybody know this is a philosophy that works. Like, you can use this in your program, whether you out in Compton or LA or Beverly Hills. It works universally. And just being able to touch and reach the lives of young people. Again, we need to do that everywhere, not just here, but everywhere. Yes. And I am just so amazed at what you're doing. And
Thank you.
I just wish you nothing but the best. And like you said, putting God first and family, and just instilling those true values in people that will grow up and just leave East St. Louis and leave your basketball team and ultimately change the world. Like I absolutely believe that. And you will be you have been, and you will continue to be blessed for the seeds that you have sown and these young people, including your own, like you said, your own kids. We thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
You know, I just want to say that, like you said before, our kids at East St. Louis, we have some really, really amazing young people, and not just athletes. If you walk the halls of East St. Louis, you see greatness, and I'm proud to be a part of that. So a lot of times we get, like you said, we get the bad rap for, well, the East St. Louis kids or the East St. Look, we have some really, really amazing people, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. And will you come back?
Oh, definitely.
All right. Well,
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for tuning in today to Pros in Politics Podcast, where we are polished and poised for greatness and impact. We appreciate you tuning in with us today, and we will see you next week. But in the meantime, please like, love, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.